I have the Thuren 1.5-inch coils installed now with the Fox 2.0 IFP shocks, and putting it back together, it's looking a lot better than having those blue shocks on there. Now I have installed the Thuren front track bar and the Fox steering stabilizer. Putting the tires back on now, and I'm going to drop it down and torque up the track bar and see how everything looks. So here are the factory coil rear springs versus the Carli R2 springs. The R2 is obviously taller, they're longer, which you expect, and also I'll get the weight later, but it definitely is more substantial in weight with the Carli R2 spring over the factory rear coil springs. Currently working on the Thuren track bar mount, getting ready to mark up for this hole, and then there's a hole back in here at an angle. Took the rear tire out to get better leverage so they could get into this hole. It's definitely a lot to drill through, so take your time and multiple drill bits. Finally got through that hole, that 1/2-inch hole for about a 1/2 inch worth of material. Took a lot of effort, but it's finally through. Getting it back together now. Got the coils and the shocks going on, and got these holes painted up. So I'll be installing that here in a few minutes. So we had to put a relief in this bracket to mount the rear track bar mounting bracket on. It was hitting a little bit. It wouldn't let the bolts go through smoothly, so notched that out a little bit, and we'll be back in business. All right, we got the rear completed and torqued in and everything installed. Now we're putting it on the alignment rack. Going to check out the specs and adjust the drag length to get the steering wheel lined up. It wasn't off too much, and yeah, getting close. Had to make one more quick adjustment on the sway M-bar links and set those to 13 and 7/16. I forgot to do that during the process, but now they're all set and ready to go. Did a quick 15-mile test drive after getting all the suspension components installed and alignment done, and it worked out very well. It drove extremely well and rode and drove straight, and the steering was spot on, and everything looked great. So here's a quick look at the shocks and the springs, and then in the rear, yeah, it's kind of hard to see with my shadows, sorry about that. It's the day of the sunlight, and there's those Carli sway bar links there. So it's altogether, it's probably up around 1.5 inches in the front and around 2 inches in the back higher than it was before the suspension install. And so currently the rear to front height difference is around 1 3/4 inch. So it's just a little bit higher in the back. I've got about 300 pounds of payload in it right now with the gear in the ram boxes and the old suspension components in the bed of the truck. So yeah, it worked out well, and do another review once I have a chance to drive it and test it some more.